It would be a fallacy to think that if you are looking at the green here or the blue up there, the tree, the building, the motor car, then you are just seeing the green or the blue or the tree or the motor car. We do not see things. We see meanings. We see meanings. And why do we see meanings? Because we sense a certain meaninglessness about ourselves. We want to fill it up. We do not like the meaninglessness. So we want to fill up the meaninglessness with meanings coming from the entire world. Now the world as such has no meaning whatsoever. The grass is just grass. The sky is just the sky. But we imbue it, load it, superimpose on it a meaning. That meaning is not an inherent property of the object itself. That meaning, as we said, is superimposed on the object by us, the perceiver. But if we admit that, then the object will cease to have any attraction for us, any sense for us, any importance for us. Because to admit that the object has no meaning is to admit that the object is useless for us. Useless not in the physical sense, but in the psychological sense. If the object has no meaning, then how will it fill up our meaninglessness? So it becomes useless. So it becomes critical for us to keep assuming that a meaning vests in the object itself. It is a self-hatched conspiracy against the self. Are you getting it? Now the world as such being meaningless can be a cause of neither pleasure nor pain. But a lot of suffering is created by us when we load objects with meanings. The world is not the cause of misery. Our perception of the world is. What we think of the world is the cause of our misery. How we interpret the world is a cause of our misery. Does that mean that one interpretation is better than the other? No, that's not what Ashtavakra is saying. Ashtavakra is simply saying any interpretation will be self-serving, because you would have burdened the object, the world, with that interpretation. You would have wanted to supply that meaning, that interpretation to that particular object. So the very fact that you are interpreting something in a particular way immediately means that your interpretation will be harmful to you. This has to be understood. We sometimes do admit that our interpretations are off the mark, but that only impels us to look for a better interpretation of events, happenings, world, objects. We never really lose hope in interpretations. If one doesn't suffice, then we look for the other. Your interpretation arises from your need to seek fulfillment through an object. Right? Why does one interpret at all? Why is one not content just looking around things as if they can supply no psychological fulfillment? Because we need psychological fulfillment. And why do we need psychological fulfillment? Because at the root of the person lies an assumption rather a delusion. And what does that assumption or delusion say? I am incomplete. This statement lies at the root of our personhood. This statement lies at the root of our Jeev nature. I am incomplete. Something is missing. So one looks at something, rather anything, always in a motivated way, always with an intention, and the intention is to seek fulfillment. When your defining statement is that I am unfulfilled, then what would you use the word for? Fulfillment. So you look at anything and your purpose is just one. How do I get fulfillment using that thing? So you supply that thing with a particular meaning. I re-emphasize that the meaning has very little to do with the object itself. The meaning has much more to do with our inherent emptiness. Emptiness not in the Buddhist sense, but in the sense of misery, an inner vacancy. an inner loneliness. So all interpretations arise from there. Now how does it matter which particular interpretation you come up with? After all, it's your own personal interpretation, is it not? Or at least it's an interpretation that you like. And if you like it, it would surely be serving just one purpose. What is the purpose? Please fill up my inner vacuum.